Kasich and other Republicans support Biden at convention. To show how much things have changed in 4 years and how divisive Donald Trump has been to the country, there were 2 former Republican governors speaking at the Democratic National Convention on behalf of Joe Biden, who is expected to be officially nominated later this week. One of those speaking up for Biden is former Ohio Governor John Kasich, R. He ran against Trump for the Republican nomination in 2016. Vowing that it's not sour grapes but out of concern for the country, he spoke at the Democratic National Convention on Monday night. "I'm a lifelong Republican, but that attachment holds second place to my responsibility to my country," Kasich said in his speech. He showed visually where his mind was, standing at a crossroads in Westerville, Ohio. "That's why I've chosen to appear at the convention. In normal times, something like this would probably never happen. But these are not normal times." He offered his support to Biden, the former Democratic vice president, referring to him as a good man, a man of faith, a unifier. "I'm sure there are Republicans and independents who couldn't imagine crossing over to support a Democrat," explained Kasich. "They fear Joe may turn sharp left and leave them behind. I don't believe that. Because I know the measure of the man, reasonable, faithful, respectful. And no one pushes Joe around." Another former GOP governor spoke at the convention as well, former New Jersey Governor Christine Todd Whitman. Former candidate for governor of California, Meg Whitman, now the chief executive of Quibi, also spoke Monday night, as did former New York Representative Susan Molinari. Republican voters supporting Biden were showcased as well. The question is how much impact this show of force will have on other Republicans, especially since these people who spoke are not currently big names in politics. Kasich is the most recent politician. He served in the House from 1983 to 2001 and was the House Budget Committee chair from 1995 through 2001. He was the governor of Ohio from 2011 until January 2019 and ran unsuccessfully for the Republican nomination for president in 2000 and 2016. In an interview before the speech, he said he could not remain silent. He refused to vote for Trump in 2016 but also didn't have it in him to vote for the Democratic candidate, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. He wrote in the name of the late Senator John McCain, RAR. "I just wasn't going to do it this time," he said to explain this year's option. "I did it the last time. I had always been hopeful, even after the convention and after the election, that perhaps we would see a change in the president, but we just never have. I happen to think it's the soul of our country that is being damaged, and that's what I'm concerned about." Kasich insisted that going up against Trump is not because of residual sour grapes from 2016. "I don't have any personal anger or anything toward him, I just don't," he said. "It's nothing to be taken personally. I just fundamentally disagree with the whole approach, and I'm deeply worried about our nation. I think if we continue this, I worry about how we ever will recover." Unsurprisingly, Trump made it personal. "He was a loser as a Republican, and he'll be a loser as a Democrat," he said before the former governor's speech. "Major loser as a Republican. I guess you can quote me on that. John was a loser as a Republican. Never even came close. And as a Democrat, he'll be an even greater loser." Some Democrats were against Kasich being a featured speaker because of his positions on abortion, Social Security, and other issues. Only 38% of those polled by CBS News wanted to hear the former governor. Yet, 72% wanted to hear Senator Elizabeth Warren, DCA, and 63% wanted to hear from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, D. New York. Biden and his allies made the case that anyone should be welcome to speak with the goal of removing Trump from office. "It's great to see Kasich as a speaker at our convention," said former Governor James J. Blanchard, a Biden delegate and a Democrat. He believes Kasich represents that group of independents and moderate Republicans. In truth, Kasich considered running against Trump this year for the Republican nomination but ultimately decided against it. "Couldn't win. It's a non-starter," he noted. "There was no way to get traction." Despite his appearance Monday, he also said he remains a Republican and admitted to having disagreements with Biden on issues, but these aren't as important to him as the other issues facing the country under Trump. "Somebody has to start being willing to break down this tribalism," he said. "I don't think that I will achieve that, but somebody's got to start. Somebody has to be able to begin to say, no, you've got to take off your partisan hat, and you've got to realize we're Americans. Nothing great was ever achieved in this country where we're fighting with each other like we are now, nothing," added Kasich. "And significant things can be accomplished when there's respect on all sides regardless of some fundamental differences."